Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. So I don't do a scientific presentation because I think we are a company and we want to present you a product that we are really convinced that it's very good. Okay. Is it okay with the sound? Yeah? So? Okay. I think the most of you know that there are two principles for long-term culture of human embryos. This is the first point of this agenda, and the others, in the others, I will introduce you what this medium is and how to handle it. Okay. There are two principles still on the market. One is the sequential media principle. That means you use several media during the development of the cells to the embryo stage or the blastocyst stage. This is based mainly on papers of David Gardner. That means, oh, sorry. I'm right. It's the wrong direction, sorry. Okay. That means that when you do IVF, you need normally a fertilization medium. At day 3, you do a media change to the first sequential medium. And then on day 3, you do a change in the last sequential medium. So all in all, you need 3 media. All 3 media cost you a lot of money. And it's not easy to handle. With ICSI, it's a bit easier. You just need 2. You don't do the fertilization with swimming sperms, you do the injection. The second principle is the one-step media principle. It's based mainly on the work of John Biggers. Right. And he said the philosophy behind this is let the embryo choose. The embryo is swimming in a drop where everything he needs, it's like a supermarket, he can use. Yes. So it's on the embryo itself to take for his development what he needs. Now, this is quite easier to handle. So you just need one medium actually with a V-ONESTEP VITROMED medium. You also can do the fertilization. You do not need the fertilization medium, the special one. But if you want to also can do that. And for ICSI, it's quite easy, really just this single medium. Second chapter, the idea behind this medium came from Patrick Quinn. I think the most of you that are a longer time in IVF know him. He passed, I think, 2 years ago. But he's really famous because he was one who developed the HTF, human tubal fluid medium, that is more or less based on the fluid you can find in the tubal, in the tubes, and he made more or less a copy of it to use it for embryos. But the problem was that it was just possible to culture the embryos until day 3. Then the second media line was developed by him, the Prince Advanced media line, and the Sage media line that still is on the market. And then at the end, for VITROMED, he did the VITROMED media line. And these media are a composition of some thoughts of him, his experience, and of course, of intensive literature studies and experiments. So now some characteristics of this medium. As I already said, it's for single-step culture and just need one medium from the one cell stage to the blastocyst. Um, every batch is extensively tested by really costly tests. So we don't do just 96 hours MEA test, for example. We do 120 hours one-cell time-lapse microkinetics mouse embryo assay, long word. That means we do not just control how many or what is the plasticist forming rate. We control also by time-lapse the development of the mouse embryos. That gives us a lot of information. And we also do plasticist cell count on day 6, because this the number of cells plasticist at the end has gives some information about the quality. You can get this in small bottles so that you mustn't open a big bottle so often. That means you do not have to do aliquotation or something with 10 milliliter bottles and 20 milliliter bottles. And we have glass bottles as well as plastic bottles, because some embryologists want glass, others prefer plastic, and so we offer both. And of course, you should store it in a refrigerator like every medium. And it is FDA cleared, so you can use it in the USA and in a lot of other countries in the world. How you should use it? Okay, I think this is not really surprising. 5 to 7% CO2. It depends on the geographic altitude your lab is. 5% O2 and 37 degrees. The pH should be between 17.5 and 73.5. So the best is 7.3. And of course, like always in IVF, you should do some checks regarding the pH and the temperature. How to use it for culture? We recommend for single cell or single embryo micro drop culture 20 to 40 microliters, and for time lapse, depending on the time lapse device you use, 20 microliter. And for group culture, 2 to 3 embryos, 50 to 100 microliter per microdrop. Of course, you can do the culture also in 4-well dishes or whatever you normally use. Some practical aspects. Here's just the way to use it. For IVF, bring together the cells. It means the oocytes and the sperms. And on day 0 and day 1, you, of course, have to remove the cumulus cells, and then you put them in the same medium. If you do ICSI, you can put the cells after injection directly in one dish, and then you can leave them until day 6 if you want. There isn't any change necessary. But of course, if some people they do not feel good, if you don't make a change, medium change at day 3, of course you can do this as well, but with one medium, with the same medium. So this is very simple to handle, and what you also should keep always in your mind is the situation of the embryo. Why do I say that? Every time you do a medium change, you have, or the embryos have some stress because they are out of the incubator. So you should always think about that. In that what we do, in 97% of the time, the embryo is outside the body. It spends in a CO2 incubator. And this is, of course, a very artificial situation. And this can be up to 6 days. And therefore, we need incubators that are of highest quality and reliability, so that they feel as good as possible. The rest of that time they spend, outside in some warming blocks or on warming plates. And it's not good for the embryos. I think it's a hard thing. So it's like we would have to stay, I don't know, 1 week down in the sea or so. Very special situation. Okay, and parameter control, that means mainly pH and temperature is very important, because when we take out cells of the body, bring them into incubators, there are always some steps where they outside these optimal conditions. And so you have to really check this very often and precise. Okay. So what are the characteristics again? You can do the culture from day 0 until day 6 without media change. You can get really high pregnancy rates simply with simple handling and low costs, because you need less number of dishes to prepare. It means less work, lower costs. Ordering and managing of ordering of just one medium is really easier than we have to have a look on 1 or 2 or 3 media. You of course produce less waste by expired media, and this saves money and is good for the environment. And you do not have a mix up of media during dish preparation. So that means lower risk for embryos. Of course, we also have lower work for documentation and quality control. That saves a lot of time. The advantages of embryo culture without media change at day 3, you do not have errors when placing the embryos in correct order in a new dish. When you transfer them into a new dish and you do a single embryo culture, then sometimes it can happen that you mix up the embryos. There is no stress for embryos caused by temperature and pH effects outside the incubator, and no mix up of media and culture dishes is possible, because it's the whole journey, it's just one medium. Yeah, it helps. As well, there is no risk of accidents with dishes, taking them out, off, and back to the incubator, because in the really worst case, it can happen that the dish will fall down, and then the whole thing is over. I just want to show you, this is a paper from 2021. This was a survey among 29 real famous experts, where they should assess several methods in IVF. And as you can read here, sequential and single-use media appear equivalent to the ability to support embryo development in vitro. And another statement in this paper is, however, they may be practical non-clinical advantages related to single-step media, including simplification of laboratory procedures, which could result in a reduction in the risk of unintentional handling errors, and cost savings owing to reductions in labor and consumables use. An additional benefit, of course, is the compatibility with time-lapse systems. Okay, conclusions. V-ONESTEP offers everything that a good one-step medium should have. Enables fertilized oocytes to develop to blastocyst state. Is optimal for time-lapse incubation. Offers easy handling, less work, and lower handling risk. Reduces the consumption of labware, and by that, costs can be used without or with media change at day 3. And to that back, for best success in IVF, it is essentially important to have stable and optimal incubation conditions. And it is crucial to control CO2 temperature and O2 at regular intervals using high quality measuring equipment. And like I showed in this Delphi paper, it is of common opinion of leading art experts that one-step and sequential media yield comparable results.
Right.
Okay, thank you for your attention. And do just one step and talk to the salespeople in your region if you want to test this medium. Okay, thanks.